Welcome back to Champion News Talk Radio, brought to you by championnews.net. Be sure to check out our Facebook page, too, at Champion News Talk Radio. And go to championnews.net, take that survey, and you can get this Illinois pension scam book. And why is it called a scam, Lennie? Why?
Well, we talked before, it's a Ponzi scheme, but one of the other issues, the main reason it's a scam, there's two main reasons. It's because, as Jack pointed out earlier, since 1995, taxpayers have paid in 230% more than what they were supposed to if the pensions had stayed what they were in 1995. The problem is Mike Madigan and them have continued to increase the benefits, and that's what the state hasn't kept up with, is the increase in benefits that they've given since 1995.
Yeah, but I'm sure there were deals made for that on both sides of the aisle.
Oh, I'm sure there were, because that was still in 95. Edgar
Among
was still
other
governor.
Things are, they run the salaries up at the end by taking the...
Yes. That's the other part of the scam.
What is that? Okay, what's that called? Spiking, right?
Well, we call it pension spiking. They don't like you. Teachers don't like, unions
That's the
don't like that
result of
word.
it, but those are the sick days, back when maybe...
Oh, that's another one. They've used 132,000 sick years to pad their retirement as well. 132,000 sick years.
Sick years.
Sick years.
How do you get 132,000 years?
Well, it's just all the retarees building up their sick leave over time. Many of them will have a year or two extra that they include into their retirement to pad their retirement.
They get 15 days a year of sick pay, and maybe back when it was worth maybe $20 an hour, and when they get to the higher salaries again, maybe it goes into figuring $60 an hour. It's quite a scam.
Yes, it is.
Imagine 15 days if you don't use them. And after all, there are only 170 school days, not 240 like a normal worker. So there's a lot of times when you can take care of yourself without so many sick days.
There actually was a school in Illinois that for the hiring bonus for the teacher, to make it nice and lucrative, 180 sick days. Right off the bat before their first day of work.
I believe New Trier is one of those, and I think it's 120. I think it may be 120 now still.
126 days a year?
120 sick days.
To start with.
It's a sign-on bonus.
To start with.
For 1 year?
But here's the thing, if they don't
How many days do they work a year?
If they don't use that time, Carol.
170 to 177 or so. 170, yeah.
There's no way.
Or less.
Wait a minute. I'm a teacher. I have 180 days a year to work for school because they do stuff before the school year starts.
Yes.
So let's say 180 days. I'm starting off the game with 120 days that I don't have to be there in New Trier School District?
Yes.
That's unusual.
For 1 year?
They're one of the
very
extreme
unusual.
ones. Yes, it's not
very
one of the
unusual.
normal.
It's bad enough for what they do with the rest. Now, the average is about 170 days. Normal people work about 240 without any overtime being figured into it. So they're making about 70 days that they're off more than ordinary people. More than that, their day is short. In Chicago, for years and years, the school teaching day is about 5 hours.
Yes.
And in other places where they're really tough, it's a 6-hour day. It isn't an 8-hour day. It's a 6-hour day.
But they get there early. The teachers do get there at 7
More than
o'clock
that.
in the morning.
Oh, listen.
Yeah, everybody does.
This whole thing is full of sappy sympathy. Besides that, they get an hour a day that is for theirs to use.
Right.
Now, if they normally teach 4 solids a day in the school year. If they want to, they're in the building room, they could teach 5. If they do that, they get 25% more pay. So that's the way it goes. I mean, this thing is a racket on the taxpayer.
I want to talk about Arnie Chavez Duncan nationalizing our schools more.
Yes.
Hugo Chavez, you're going to be very proud in Hades, where you're located after croaking over the other day.
Yeah.
Nationalized school
curriculum.
How is that constitutional?
Because they're just setting school standards, and it's like every other unfunded mandate they're shoving through the schools. They're trying to say it's improving schools, so...
Is it?
Well, education itself should not be run by the feds anyway. That should be run at the local level. So education, the whole Department of Education literally should be unconstitutional.
Well, I
So,
just have
If
something
not
to say.
unconstitutional, it's certainly very unwise.
It's very unwise.
Just listen
yes.
a minute. You're going to find out something here.
Every week I would find something
listen,
out.
they're talking about single-payer system because this guy Obama is going to stick us with his lousy government medical care. So that's what's going on here, and the name for that, where the government pays for your stuff, it's a single-payer system. We've already got a single-payer system, and it's your education system.
Yep.
Because you pay in your tax money, and they give you whatever education they want to give your kids.
Yes.
That's single-payer, and it stinks you're paying very high taxes for a very lousy education for your kids, and they're going to do the same damn thing to your health care. You're going to have a stinking bureaucrat deciding what care you'll get, or whether you go to a death squad at the end at 70 years old. You're too old to fix up at all.
Yep.
Just hang around and die, pal.
We're going to bring Stephen Tucker on to talk about this in the next couple of weeks about health care. But wait a second. You've got this Obama administration setting the standard for something.
Yes.
That is frightening in and of itself.
It is.
I mean, the standard that he has set for leadership. Now he's going to set school standards, because I'm going to tell you something. These kids today,
Well,
they're smarter in
and-
a different way, but I got to tell you, they don't get the basics.
No, they don't.
They
Well, that's
don't
the
read.
problem.
They can't do math in their brains.
You've got the NEA and stuff are working directly with Arnie Duncan and the administration, and that's why Common Core is becoming so prevalent. They worked with them to get this done, because it's mandating all these extra people that they have to hire to implement all these Common Core strategies and everything they have to do.
It gets expensive.
And it's becoming to the point where you're talking about the basics. Mm-hmm. Yes, everybody's being taught to the middle. They're dumbing down the classrooms and cutting out the people that would excel.